Did you donate 8,000 times?
I cannot imagine. Even if it worked for you, why is that an issue?
Well, it doesn't seem possible that you donated that many times.
You're right. It doesn't, so that's actually disturbing.
We're investigative reporters. We're just trying to figure out there's some fraud happening. This is your name on the FEC website.
I can't imagine that I did that. That's like impossible.
That's impossible.
It's impossible.
My name is James O'Keefe. Have you heard of that before?
Yes, I have.
You've heard of James O'Keefe?
Yes, wait. James O'Keefe.
Come in?
I'd want to come in.
Yeah, I'd come in, yeah. There's this data that we looked at from this man in Wisconsin who compiled all the FEC data, and your name in New Jersey was the top one. You remember our Act Blue story from March about tons of mysterious cash being funneled into Democratic campaigns by unwitting donors? Well, we just learned that the Republican counterpart to Act Blue, WinRed, is apparently in on it too. Data we obtained from the Federal Election Commission seems to suggest that countless unwitting campaign donors are giving huge amounts of money to various candidates, but they're doing it in thousands of small transactions spread throughout the year. But what exactly are they hiding? We decided to pay a visit to the most active political donor in the state of New Jersey, according to Federal Election Commission data, to try to figure out what's going on. This retired education administrator told me she gives a few bucks here and there to WinRed a couple of times a month. There's this data that we looked at from this man in Wisconsin who compiled all the FEC data, and your name in New Jersey was the top one. Listen to this. The FEC says Alexandra Gina gave $75,000 last year, donating a total of 10,355 times. They say in 2021 she gave $61,000 to candidates in 5,700 separate donations. So far this year, the FEC says Gina has given $16,798 in 2,486 separate donations. What does the FEC say she's donated in the past 3 years? Just over $154,000. But Gina denies this. How many times do you think you've donated? Is it 100 times? Is it 20 times? Is it just order of magnitude? Did you donate 30 times in 2 days?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It gets weirder. On May 21st of this year, FEC data seemed to indicate that Ms. Gina apparently gave 3 separate Republican causes a donation of 5 cents apiece.
Those are small. In terms of the number of donations, yes, they are separate, but they're part of one solicitation.
We reached out to a number of people and didn't get many answers. We tried WinRed, we tried the head of WinRed, we tried the FEC in Washington, but neither would explain these discrepancies or where the money is actually coming from. In fact, no one really wanted to talk about it at all. It sounds like WinRed and Act Blue are attributing thousands of dollars in contributions to unwitting donors and funneling them to political campaigns in multiple micro donations spread throughout the year. Alexandra Gina, who seems to be a victim of the scheme, calls this mind-boggling.
But it is disturbing because it's mind-boggling that it should be that much.
Maybe that's why they call it dark money. WinRed and Act Blue are both political action committees, and they raise money for candidates in their respective parties through online donations. They're now the biggest sources of funding for any campaign by far, processing most of the contributions from individual donors in each election cycle. The FEC does place limits on the amount an individual can donate to a campaign. It's $5,000 a year for a single candidate. But there are no limits to what a person can donate to so-called super PACs. A super PAC acts just like a regular PAC, but it operates completely independently from the campaign. They can raise unlimited cash, but they can't coordinate with the campaign or candidate. So is that what's happening? Or is it something more sinister, a way to inject foreign dollars into our elections without anybody noticing? Well, with the help of Peter Bernager in Wisconsin, that citizen journalist who led us on the trail of Act Blue, we noticed. There's some dark things happening in this country. We don't know what's going on, so we're trying to figure it out. We have to say both sides might be hiding this dark money, but Democrats do seem to be disproportionately benefiting from the data we reviewed on the FEC website. Everyone talks about George Soros, but I bet you didn't know that Swiss billionaire Hans-Jörg Wyss has been pumping hundreds of millions of dollars in this dark money into American elections for years.
There's a Swiss billionaire named Hans-Jörg Wyss who has been giving hundreds of millions of dollars into these new 501c4 entities that were made possible by the Citizens United decision. He's been contributing like hundreds of millions of dollars to democratic and progressive causes. His own sister wrote a biography and then said in the biography that he specifically wants to remake the American Constitution into something that specifically pushes progressive value.
We've been following this story for more than a year, and our reporting has led to calls for investigations by Marco Rubio when we did the Act Blue story, among other developments. You can count on my team and myself at OMG to keep looking and digging for answers.
Everybody needs to be held accountable to make sure that we're keeping foreign money out of elections and we're not having, mass fraud occur online to influence elections.
The story matters to a lot of people. A lot of you have told us this is our biggest and most important reporting yet, and it's not over. You can actually help us report this story. The FEC has a database. You can see it right here. You can go on fec.gov and you can search for your own individual contributions on file or in your state. Maybe you can knock on some doors, ask these citizens if they've done this, ask to review their bank statements, see if those citizens will show you their bank statements. Give it a look. And if you see any irregularities, let us know. Tweet at us, DM us, upload the footage to O'KeefeMediaGroup.com. As of the date of this recording, we have yet to hear back from the head of Act Blue and WinRed. We will update you the moment we get answers. This is a developing story. We need your help getting answers on all these discrepancies, maybe one of the biggest stories of the election. Stay tuned. Almost everyone I meet with tells me they're interested in swiping and doing this sort of journalism, and many of you say you would be good at it. Well, now is your chance to do something about it and put skin in the game. We're hosting a training webinar on Thursday, November 2nd at 7 p.m. where we'll go over the technology, the laws, and the undercover techniques of being an American swiper for OMG. Sign up in order to be equipped and empowered to go get stories that can be featured on all OMG platforms. If we publish your story, we'll feature your journalism and we'll even pay you for it.
We're exploring, now, how the virus keeps mutating?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we're exploring is, why don't we just mutate it ourselves?
This work is not easy. It requires resilience, courage, many weeks, if not months, of persistence and creativity. But the rewards are the recognition and the satisfaction of informing the public and making society a more transparent and ethical place. Visit O'KeefeWebinar.com to sign up as an American swiper and start making a real impact.